Jason here. If you don't know me, I'm a small business owner in Utah, and I've been running a series where you get to see an in-depth view of what it is to run a small business. So last video we talked a little bit about rebranding and giving our business a bit of a facelift, and I chose to work with a Fiverr logo designer, and here's what she came up with. After a couple of revisions, this is the design that we ended up deciding on. So it's pretty clean, it's pretty modern, pretty easy to treat as a luxury brand. The new focus is tailoring the experience so the client can truly get what they deserve. I'm a huge believer in loyalty, and I believe in making a logo that is very recognizable and exhibits feelings of trust for our clients. It's a start in the right direction. There's still a lot to accomplish before we go from concept to brand. Further yet, let's move on to restructuring the brand, comparing our previous page to our newly redesigned one. So most of our previous content is still there, but overall it feels like it's received a facelift. I've also changed our bio and made an introductory post to our new logo and all of our new plans. I used ChatGPT to help me with the bio as well as the posts. Or ironically enough, I don't know if you know this, but ChatGPT actually understands Spanish very well, like to the point that it embarrasses my own Spanish. And I've come to learn it's a really good source for hashtags. So that's something I've always struggled in, and being able to generate hashtags based on your business and content. I feel is super important to get the attention of the audience you seek. I've also updated our link tree to be more consistent with our brand colors. I don't have a before and after, but the colors contrast really well and overall give a more pleasurable experience. Here in our recent projects is a video we recently worked on. I'll tag it down below in the description. However, on the same topic, I really recommend starting a link tree because there's no monthly cost to using Linktree unless you go for the pro. But in my opinion, you don't really need it because you get a lot of benefit of just being able to tie in all your socials into one easy to access area and kind of direct traffic to where you want the eyes to be. Back to that video that we made, the singer we worked with actually gave us a shout out, which is always good content you could put onto your story. I actually got shouted out by Zeke here in Fight City. He's this pretty big dude that can absolutely kick my ass, which reminds me of the meal prep concept. So I'm going to pass it back to boxing Jason.
Just finished boxing, and honestly I've got some pretty awesome news that we're going to work on meal preps. And one of my buddies here, I brought him a meal prep last week so he can try it out, and he actually really liked it, to the point that he asked me if I'd be willing to make him some when he comes back from his trip. So granted, I am super excited. Just gonna let my car warm up while I make some talking points. Yeah, it's pretty exciting because I've been talking about doing meal prep with these guys because I've been boxing for a couple months now. Anyways, I started a website for the food truck business that I was planning on launching this year, and it's Donkiki's, right? I'm thinking about making like some subsidiary that's just pure meal preps, like a part of it. So we have Donkiki's, which is like the main brand, and we have like donkeys, like a donkey, because donkeys are strong. Like you get kicked by a donkey, you're gonna lights out, right? And it's kind of a play on words because it's boxing, right? So that's gonna be part of my next strategy. The idea is the subsidiary is like a healthy kitchen, kind of an alternative, because to be honest, the food truck that I'm working on, it's not healthy at all. So that's more like the cheat days, but like on a real, like you eat every weekend, right? You're going to be eating fatty foods, or not every weekend, but there's also a big market for people that just want to eat healthy, right? So I'm thinking not being together, but why not both? Like you should be able to enjoy good ass food, but also like eat good ass food that's good for you, right? So I'm super hyped about it. I talked to one of the guys here. He actually left his gloves, so ironically enough, it works out. I'm gonna see him next week and bring him a sample to see how he feels about it. Him and his girlfriend, I believe. And there's a lot of guys there that really look up to Zeke, which he's the guy that has kind of been like pushing me to do it. He thinks there's some serious potential here. So I'm really hoping I can provide some high quality protein. This is another great example of chasing opportunity when you see it. Some of the talking points that I've been seeing from one of my favorite influencers is knowing when to split your attention and being selective. You gotta say no to some things, right? And I get that, but I'm also starting, so I'm still trying to figure out what works, and I'm gonna send it. We're gonna do the food prep thing. I actually got some cool footage that I'll show in a second of the shrimp fried rice that I made, and I'm excited to see what I'm gonna cook for this upcoming week. If I can provide a service for them that is genuinely going to make their life easier, right? Don't even think about it. Just put it in the microwave, heat it up, and you're gonna get good food. Like clearly there's a demand here, right? Like if they don't know anyone else that's doing it, like in this area, and like literally everyone in the boxing gym doesn't know anyone. So like shit, it's plain as day. So I'm pretty hyped up for that. The website's still really basic, so there's a lot that needs to be done there, but I might as well put a section of it dedicated just to the health aspect of it, open up some social medias, and actually start using that as well as the retail one. So that's about it. Pretty excited, so let's see where this goes, boys.
So a lot of my focus is going to be on making short form content. So something I noticed while looking at one of the pages I follow is that they have like 200,000 followers on Instagram, which I thought was impressive. However, when I checked their TikTok, they were like in the 2 millions, which to me is just insane. Like straight up just 10x the amount of eyes and followers. So it seems ridiculous to not make short form content when that seems to be the most consumed media at this point in time. So an additional focus is to upload more short form content such as YouTube Shorts or TikToks or Instagram Reels, just to get more eyes on our brand, which reminds me of the topic I'm most excited for, which is the new place that we're going to move to. And I'm super excited to TikTokify all that and kind of show a lot of before and after shots. Build a place from an empty, dirty, abandoned Payless into a dreamy, trendy boutique. And I've already conceptualized it, so let's check it out. I want to make a floor plan. Okay, so I want to make a floor plan of the space that we're renting. So I was looking at some apps to see if there's something that could make it a little bit easier, because I found this app right here, which I then used to make a design. So this is kind of like the concept that I got, and it's pretty rough. So here's kind of the floor plan. There's like the doors when you enter and all that, and there's like the changing rooms and like a exit out here and a bathroom there, and then I kind of made like a bit of a 3D layout. But basically, like, there's like these two doors. This whole like section should be glass right here, but there's also like glass windows. So I'm planning on like elevating this portion right here and putting like mannequins there, and then curtains here to have kind of like a backdrop on the mannequins, which are going to be modeling our inventory that we have, as well as like some lights to kind of add like some glamour, and there's gonna be some visual effects to make it look really appealing so people will want to come in, right? And when they come in, the first thing you're met to is kind of like a front desk, right? At the front we'll have our consultant, and on the left side we have all of our jewelry and crowns that you pair with dresses for the events. And then on this right side you have a bunch of space for inventory. So we have like these like shelves and the spaces here for hanging dresses. So if we go to the left side, like this would normally be full of crowns and stuff, and I kind of like, there's going to be a lot of neon signs and lighting effects done here. So for example, like up here I want to put like a neon sign that says somewhere along the lines of every queen needs her crown, right? Something that kind of fits with the aesthetic. And right here's kind of like the lounge area where parents or other people that are waiting for their turn, or people that are kind of waiting to see the kind of like exhibit happen right here. Back there's like 3 changing rooms where clients can go change into the dresses and come out and kind of have like a bit of a audience here to applaud them. Up here where these rafts are, I plan on hanging a bunch of flowers, like completely covered in flowers. And here's like another example. So when you're coming down the carpet, there's going to be a big mirror here, which I also have plans for making the mirror look very designed. So it allows the client to kind of see themselves and get like an idea coming down. And then, you know, also you have like your audiences. It's supposed to be something easy to upload to social media because it's exciting. It's going to be really beautiful with lighting. And we're going to have like a really fancy archway that we're planning on building here. The whole thing is very trendy, if that makes sense.
over there's not really a lot to show other than it's just literally inventory. So there would be like a bunch of dresses just here, and kind of going back here into the changing room. It's really small, to be honest, but it's pretty simple. There's like 2 changing rooms there, 1 changing room here with a mirror. My plans for this wall is to do a type of like selfie wall. So here's like some, I mean, there's plenty of examples. This is a great example right here. It's just going to be completely covered in flowers. That whole backdrop is just nothing but flowers with neon signs, but it's going to be like our brand or our neon sign. So for example, like a hashtag VIP Quince and our handle. The whole idea is you see that and you're like, I need to take a photo there, or you're modeling the dress on and you want to sit there and take pictures. I also want to do cloud lights, so something like cloud lights like this or this, but right here, this whole dreamy section is, I want it to be very cloud-like. And also for that display up there, I have a whole concept of how to make it look dreamy from the outside.
So talking about that concept, something that I think is really important is structuring the flow of traffic so it comes very naturally. So every point of contact is intended to keep your eyes on what is important in the product. But not only that, put some barriers so when you experience it for the first time, it truly is an experience that is very wow causing. And that's what I plan to capitalize on. I don't want to just create a dress place. I want to create a place that will make you want to go there because it's completely different than anything you've seen. And not only is the product good, the service is great, the delivery is tailored, and you truly just get an overall experience that comes with working with a brand, which I think is going to be good to develop loyalty. So now that you know the plans, I can show you the true reality of what our business actually looks like and give you kind of an apples to apples comparison of where we started and where we want to be.
Truth is, it's really pretty. We have a lot of props, dresses, just general inventory. However, as you can tell, it's just way too saturated. We literally got dresses everywhere, tuxedos. Just looks like we got a bunch of piñatas all over the place. So, yeah, we genuinely need a large overhaul. Our excess storage. There's an excess of inventory we've got no more space for.
Alright, so had a pretty eventful week. Time for the boring part of business. Okay, so because of how new our business is, a lot of the way we file our paperwork is really old and outdated. So the goal is to move from a physical format to a more digital format using software like QuickBooks, for example. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of show what that process is like, what's worked for me, what could help you with your business. But it's super inefficient. Anytime you gotta look up an invoice, you gotta physically file through all the stuff when you can just literally search it on like a software like QuickBooks. You can search up clients, you can search up phone numbers, you can search up payments, you can digitalize everything. So this right here takes a lot of focus from our business, where I could use that focus more on branding or marketing, and honestly just save you time. So I'm gonna show you what worked for our business, and I'll also recommend you to a channel that helped me with organization.
This is how I filed it. I have 2021 and 2022, and I have all the months laid out. And I have these kind of like drop-in folders, which hosts these other additional folders in here. So for example, this folder right here would have income, and this folder would have expenses. And generally you want to update this monthly. However, the system that we're going to move on to is actually just digitalizing by scanning all these documents with our phone. It's a really basic system. Keeps me organized. This is the old way. I'm going to update to the new way. I'll show you guys, kind of give you an overview of that, and talk you through what has helped me transitioning from here to there.
But back to it. Generally, when you're trying to improve your business, I think it's good to look at your business's hygiene and practices and see what you can improve on the low end to potentially receive a higher top end. Gauging your financial pulse will allow you to have more control and thus more efficiency of your brand. So yep, let's move on. Next, we have plans to start working at that subsidiary, as well as getting a business loan and getting that lease signed. Making some updates to the website for Donkikis as well as VIP Quince, and moving to digital invoices as opposed to physical to fast track that whole experience. If this is the type of content that you're looking for, and you truly want to see what it's like to run a business day to day, then you're going to want to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. We got a lot of plans, so without further ado, boys, see you next week.